Hey everybody, just wanted to do a bit of a walk around and build video on my recent completion of my RC Powers F22 version 2. I used, as you can see here, I used the 27th Fighter Squadron based out of Langley Air Force Base, Virginia as the inspiration for my paint scheme. Plus I thought the black and yellow looked really cool. The 27th Fighter Squadron was the first squadron operational with the F-22 Raptor, and I had also had some experience working with them at Maple Flag exercise in Coal Lake, Alberta many moons ago when they still used to fly the F-15. So anyway, that's what I went with, and I think it turned out okay. So I'll just run through some of the mods that I made to the plan. As if you are familiar with it, normally the battery would go right in here. This canopy should come off and the battery would come in here. But many people have been using putting the battery further back here on the turtle deck. And Father and Sons from the RC Powers forum, who's probably the uncrowned king of the RC Powers F22, was kind enough to publish some awesome pictures of a battery box compartment modification that he had come up with that is very, very popular. So that's what I went with. So anyway, I'll just open it up here. So it's just a box basically that you build. You have to do some modification to the parts from the plan to get it all to fit in. But the nice thing is this box is about 8 inches long. The battery is 4 inches long, so it gives you lots of space to move that back and forth. And then I just ran my connector from my speed controller up through, after you put the box in, there's a bit of a gap in here, so that fits in there really nicely. I just got it held on with some magnets, top and bottom. And then I was a bit concerned about airflow going over my battery compartment, especially since summer's coming. And I wanted to make sure I had a bit more airflow. So I came up with this idea, made my own little mod. I cut a notch on either side on the front of the battery compartment hatch door, if you want. And also I cut this hole in the back because I wanted the air to flow right through, and I didn't want this to become a giant air scoop and go flying off the plane as I was at high speed. These these decals here, I just got these off the internet. The 27th Fighter Squadron is called the Fighting Eagles. So this patch is Fighting Eagles Raptor Keeper. Those very, very important folks that are responsible for the care and feeding of the F-22. And this one here is the Fighting Eagles Raptor Driver, which is pretty self-explanatory. The other nice thing is this little hole here. This door fits in here fairly snugly, so this little hole here makes a perfect finger hold to pop that off and on, so I don't have to dig around on the foam there. I didn't, not that this is a mod, but I used the KF4 airfoil, so I've got 6mm Depron on the top, down the wings, and I went all the way around on the intakes here. And I've got 3mm on the bottom here, which I'll show you in a little bit. So what I did was, after I got it on, I used my knife. I measured a line back about a ½ an inch all along here, and then just beveled it back with my knife, and then sanded it off afterwards. Same thing here on the wing. I probably went back a little bit further on the wing. And then I put this transparent duct tape. I know it kind of takes away from the paint job, but I find it works really, really well because inevitably I'm always going to gonk the leading edge of the wing into something, whether it be the car door or whatever. And I find that this tape gives it a lot of protection and keeps the foam from getting torn up so bad. And I don't know, perhaps it maybe also reduces aerodynamic drag just a little bit as well. So these roundels, I know they look a little big, but I just borrowed those actually from the sticker set that came with my F-22 version 1 plans. So I think those look pretty neat. My hinges on both my on the top of both my ailerons and elevons, I like to use this this clear fiberglass, mesh fiberglass drywall tape, and then I smear a very thin layer of Fabri-Tac glue on there. It does add a bit of extra weight. It's heavier than tape, but these are the strongest hinges I've ever used. I've never had any problems with the glue releasing or them getting sloppy or anything else. So the extra weight is, in my opinion, worth it. Back here on the rudders, vertical stabilizers, I just used tape for my hinges here. I did sand this, bevel it and sand it, and same thing here on the leading edge of my Elevon, just to kind of make that a little bit smoother. So the next mod back here that I used, again, father and sons had recommended extending this engine nozzle, if you want, which also acts as a thrust vectoring vane because it's right in the prop wash, extending this back a 1/2 inch. So I've extended that back a 1/2 inch to give me more control surface in the prop wash. Just get this thing moved around here. Oh, sorry for that. Nice close up of the vert stab there. So here in my prop slot, you can see I'm using the NTM prop drive 2700. Nice powerful beast. I really love this motor on bigger planes. I opened up the prop slot. I just measured back. This is plan here. I didn't want to cut this out of here because that helps reinforce the motor mount area. So I just measured back over here about 5/8 of an inch, and then cut that back at an angle, sort of a half a bow tie there. And then along the back here, I think I measured back about 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch. I think I'm actually almost right up against my carbon rod spar or carbon tube spar that runs through my wing. And then I beveled this at about a 45-degree angle and put some transparent duct tape on there. So hopefully that'll give lots of room for the beast to breathe there and give me plenty of thrust. For my rudder servos, I'm just using a couple of HXT 900 9-gram plastic servos. I find those work just fine for rudders, since I won't be using them a whole lot when I'm flying my plane. So anyway, I think that's pretty much everything on the top. I'm just going to pause here for a sec and flip the plane over and talk about the stuff on the bottom. So working from the back here, I've actually used almost a full length of bamboo skewer in my Elevon for reinforcement, and I've also run kind of a star-shaped pattern of fiberglass strapping tape on the bottom here for reinforcement. I was thinking about putting it on the top as well, but my plane's a little bit heavy. I tend to build a little heavy as it is, so if I can get away without putting even more tape on, I will. We'll just see how it operates. If I'm getting too much flex in the Elevons, then maybe I'll reinforce it. So here's the bottom part of my KF 4 or 3.5 airfoil, if you want, 3mm Depron. You can probably see underneath here, this is the, I used a carbon fiber, 3mm carbon fiber tube along the leading edge. It runs pretty much right up to the center in here. So my wing with the KF4 and this extra reinforcement is quite strong. The plan calls for a piece to go across here, basically, but I didn't do that. I just used those two pieces on the leading edge. So I've got my two servos, both sides. I use Metal Gear servos for my Elevons and my ailerons. Paint job on the bottom, you can see, is fairly simple. I just went with the yellow, and conveniently this is the hatch door on the bottom, so I painted that black for contrast, and then I put transparent duct tape on the bottom to help protect the foam, and then a little bit of fiberglass strapping tape on here to protect that on landing so it doesn't get scratched up too bad. So in my electronics bay here on the bottom, quite a rat's nest of wires. I got a couple onboard mixers in here to make everything work properly. My speed controller's back here. I just velcroed it onto the to the spine there that runs along the center of the plane. It's on the right hand side, hopefully to counteract the prop wash. Obviously the battery's right on the center line of the plane, so I needed to use something to help counter. I think I said prop wash earlier. I meant to say torque roll. So hopefully that'll help counteract the torque roll a little bit. So anyway, I'm just going to flip the plane over and fire it up, and I'll show you the control surfaces I'm using. So for the control setup, I've got the elevator, or the elevators and ailerons are independent. Although I did mix the the elevator surfaces as elevons, so that should give me lots of authority in the pitch. I've only got about 70% throw on there right now, just till I get the maiden flight. It's kind of the setting I like to go with. And then I just went with straight rudders. I've got 100% on that. I'm probably going to use those mostly when I'm trying high alpha or doing some slow speed flying. And then NTM prop drive there, nice powerful beast. And I've also got my ailerons programmed as spoilerons. I think that's only at about 50% right now. I'll play around a little bit with that. I've just got that on the flap switch of my my radio. So anyway, I'm just going to pause again here and disconnect everything so I don't inadvertently cut my finger with my prop. So be right back with you. So just some final notes here on my paint finishing job. On the nose section here, I put some lightweight finishing spackle. It's like super lightweight stuff. It's like a common cross between whipped cream and meringue. So it's super lightweight, and I just filled that in, actually using just a scrap piece of foam, and then I sanded it all off. And then this is just cheap paint, acrylic craft paint that I get at the dollar store, and then I brush it on with cheap brushes that I get at the dollar store as well. For the paint scheme, it doesn't relate to anything that's out there in the real world. I just like to use the natural lines of the plane. I find it helps the whole thing flow and makes my life a lot easier, and I think that this will be really easy to see in the air. My canopy here is just that metal insulation tape that you can buy at Home Depot or most other hardware stores. I find it's really nice to use when you want a contrasting type canopy like this, because it has like a paper on the back of it, so you can cut it out first and trim it around, and then when you're ready to put it on, you just peel off the paper and then it sticks on. And then I just kind of use the end of a pen or something and kind of just press it down so that it sticks on there. So anyway, I think that's about enough of my droning on for now. I just wanted to again say many thanks to Father and Sons for all of his help and patience with all of the build and answering questions on his mods. And Maestro and a couple of other guys were really helpful with getting things set up down in the lower bay to counteract the torque roll. So anyway, I'm looking forward to flying this beauty, see what all the excitement's about, since it's probably without a doubt the most popular RC Powers version 2 plane. And hopefully some of this stuff might be helpful to you. And if you do have any questions on any of the techniques that I used in this build, just post me a comment down below on my YouTube channel, or post something on the F22 thread on the RC Powers website, and I'll do whatever I can to try and help you out. So there we go. Thanks very much, and thanks for watching.